Hello everybody and welcome back to the funniest tweets. Yes, it is the Miami Grand Prix edition. Now some of you might be coming into this episode hoping for a bit of a distraction perhaps from the disappointment of a potentially mediocre race, whereas others of you might be coming in here thinking that was quite decent. I don't think I've ever seen a split like it on social media at least, where some of you quite enjoyed it, others of you thought it was terrible. So let me know in the comments where you stand as we get into the funniest tweets. Driver intros. How could we not start before the race? We don't usually do anything before the race, but there was this 10-minute introduction for the drivers, and it was as bad as we all thought it was going to be at F1 Grump. So we get this cringy, I love that they called F1 Grump as well. So we get this cringy driver presentation for the show instead of longer DRS zones that actually improve the racing. Now this was a tweet done before the race. I wonder how they felt after. At June Seps, they really thought they were going to have an Avengers Assemble moment with that driver's introduction, huh? I love how, I think it was Logan Sargent was the only driver, I think, to voluntarily speak into the microphone. He was like, yeah, let's get some energy and whatever. And he didn't have a very good home race. So perhaps the microphone was cursed. But everyone else just very much avoided it. I heard that some of the drivers didn't even want to do it, yet they all came out there, played their part in the sort of Miami experience, whatever it was. It was weird because I thought it was terrible, but I couldn't stop watching it just purely because it was putting the drivers in like an awkward situation. So it was kind of entertainment, but in a very strange way. At Grookey4 smashed those driver intros. Look, it's a Mr. Bean meme. You know where I stand on the Mr. Bean usage. Sounds weird, but anyway, those driver intros were very strange. Verstappen pace. Sorry, how
Lovely
quick is that
stuff.
Red Bull?
Magnussen's...
It's like he just activated frickin' nitrous. What the f*** was that?
What a move.
What a move? What do you mean?
Just trolling.
We now move on to a segment where we talk about Max Verstappen, and of course started P9, and we thought, oh, could he get on the podium? Probably. Can he finish P2? Very likely. Can he win? Maybe not. Well, he did. At the light, Max in the race. Now, Fernando Alonso predicted Verstappen was going to be in Alonso's rearview mirrors or past by lap 25. And I think it was lap 14. There was the drivers' cool-down room after the race where they were all chatting, and I loved that. And it felt extended. It felt like we were in there for a while. So genuinely, we could have cut the Miami Grand Prix to one lap and then have 50-odd laps worth of just driver cool-down room, please. At Neil Shah 248, that Verstappen double overtake. Now that was saucy. I think that was Leclerc and Magnussen, if I'm not mistaken. And Verstappen just rocked up on the scene, and I'm thinking, might get one. Nope. Activated what seemed to be some kind of nitrous down that main straight towards turn 1 with the DRS. Of course, Leclerc had DRS. No, Leclerc didn't have DRS. Magnussen had DRS. But Verstappen just steamed through. Easy. So quick, that Red Bull. Like, unbelievably quick. Red Bull, genuinely, I think Horner said after the race something like they don't really know where everyone's gone and they haven't really made huge changes. It's just the other teams have disappeared. So we've got a great season on our hands. At Casito_NL. This pretty much sums up what I was saying. Max, his car today. I think it was Russell as well, perhaps he was behind, or one of the Mercedes, and they both had DRS, and yet Verstappen just close, dive bomb. Lovely. I mean, look, no disrespect to Red Bull or Verstappen or Perez, they genuinely have just got it right. Verstappen is inevitable. You give him a car that can win races, and he will win a lot. Similar to Hamilton. Give him a winning car, he will win a lot. Unlucky of us to have Red Bull get it so right and everyone else not. Don't want to talk about Ferrari at all in this episode, but I know I'm going to have to. This was a good one. At Crystal Horner, George defending against Max summarised. Okay, I'm a fight Max. Damn, Max got to. I've never seen that meme before. Brilliant. Even though George still had DRS as well, it was impossible. And it was no point either, these drivers defending from Max, because their race wasn't with Max. Even Alonso, up in P2 at the time, no point defending because it just loses him time to the likes of Sainz and Russell, etc., that he's actually fighting. It's sad, but it makes sense. All right, listen up, everyone. We've got an awesome sponsor for this week's funniest tweets, Surfshark VPN. They are willing to offer you, the glorious P1 family, an 83% discount, zero risk, 30-day money-back guarantee opportunity to stream anything that might be geo-restricted. And I mean anything. Not only this, but it also protects you whilst you browse the internet. No eyeballs will get to see what you might be looking at through the wonders of data encryption. For me personally, no one will ever be able to find out that I just stare at Michael Schumacher's F1 stats all night. Until now. But wait, there's more. Yes, if the VPN isn't enough for you, I'd also recommend Surfshark Search. Try saying that 5 times quickly. Surfshark Search. This is where you can get purely organic search results, free from any ads or tracking. Glorious. So what are you waiting for? Go to SURSHARK.DEALS/P1 and use the code P1 for an 83% discount plus 3 extra months free. Link is in the description and the top comment. LECLERC pain. Oh goody, I'm glad this segment exists, but of course we need to talk about Charles Leclerc. Had a terrible weekend, I think is safe to say, crashing again in quali, and then not really having much pace either. It was really quite delightful. At PK Radjuski 97, Mappy1 Gallagher when Charles is 4.3 seconds behind K-Mag. Oh, you would have seen me if you watch our Twitch watch-alongs on Mappy1 Tommy. Couldn't quite believe it. Of course, Charles was back and had to make through some progress, P7 or whatever it was at the start, and I don't know where his pace was. Like, what was that? I genuinely was watching that interval to Magnussen in the Haas, and it wasn't coming down for a very long time. I thought he was going to be challenging for the championship this year, not challenging K-Mag for P7. Big shout out to K-Mag though, great weekend, finished P10 in the end, nice little point, job done. At G_the OG, how does it feel to be a Ferrari fan? Doesn't feel great, does it? Although, there is a meme coming up, but I'm just going to say McLaren fans, my heart goes out to you. I know that us as Ferrari fans, Charles Leclerc fans, we think we're going through it. You've got it bad at the moment, huh? At CyberQuero, wait, you were racing a Haas? I think that's a really good caption for that picture. And Sainz, on the other hand, had a pretty decent weekend, apart from not knowing when to press the brake pedal coming into the pits, and I think pretty drastically going over the speed limit, not in terms of like 100 miles an hour, but the fact that he was locked up for a good 2 car lengths after the pit lane speed limiter line, which was a shame, but it didn't actually cost him anything in the end, so at least there's that, I suppose. But Carlos had a decent weekend and outpaced Charles, outconsistented Charles. That's a word now, okay? It's late. It's 11:30 at night. I don't usually do these videos at this time, but I had a coffee about 3 hours ago. I'm surviving, I think. Snooze Fest. You best believe we have a segment about it being boring, because as much as some people were like to me on Twitter, no, Matt, it was really good. It was a great race. I can actually see that. Now that I've calmed down a little bit, I can see how it was enjoyable in some ways. I don't know what it is about the Miami track that just doesn't excite me that much. I think there's one great corner, I don't know, I think it's maybe turn 10, the left-hand hairpin before you go into that horrible sequence of corners that is terrible for racing. I think it's turn 10. I think that's a great corner for racing, and that's where we saw a lot of the overtakes. But I don't know, there's just something that's just missing about it. I can't put my finger on it, but I can appreciate that there were a lot of overtakes. So I'm not having a go at you if you thought it was a great race. Genuinely really interested to know where you sit on this. But yes, anyway, I'm rabbiting on. Let's get to the memes. At Brendan RNC1. Baku, I'm going to be the most boring race of the 2023 F1 season. Miami. I'm not this far to that side of the spectrum. Like, I don't think it was terrible. I just don't think it was great. I think it was a 5 out of 10. I mean, we had overtakes, but they just felt like they lacked a little bit of something. I don't know. Can't put my finger on it. At Cell_Stone, me right now. That's a good... That picture sums up everything without having to say anything. So there are other people that genuinely were quite bored. I think the 2021 season warped our brains into thinking that this is normal Formula One. It's not. At Banshee, today's race summarised. I'll have a Verstappen P1, Ferris P2. Yep, that... I mean, how has that become normal, by the way? How is a Fernando Alonso P3 considered normal? This man has 75 points. He can still be considered somewhat of a championship contender. Imagine if Aston Martin just whack on their wind tunnel for the 105% or whatever they've got in their locker and just develop that car to be as good as Red Bull. It's not going to happen, but we can dream, and we have to try and think of things that keep this season somewhat interesting for the title. At Mies_F1 is going to be such an exciting race with a mixed-up top 10, and is the exciting race currently in the room with us? That's a good meme. Very good meme. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I feel bad saying it was. I wasn't particularly enthralled, but at the same time, I just don't know where Formula One's going at the moment, do we? They're shortening DRS zones for no particular reason. They're getting rid of porpoising, which is great for health and safety, but has also ruined any kind of following, unless you're Max Verstappen on medium tyres, kind of ability. So I think we have to have a discussion at some point on the Map P1 Tommy channel about where Formula One is going. Other memes. I feel like this is a segment now where when we have random memes, we just call it other memes and we show you them. So here we go. Alonso's watching the race as he's driving in third place. At Akal173, Alonso to Lance. This was my favourite part of the race, without doubt. Fernando Alonso running in third place. This man's acting like he's 20th and just a lap down and doing laps. He's on the podium at this stage and he's watching the race, comes over the team radio and compliments Lance and asks what position he was in. And I think he was like 13th. So I'm not sure that's what Fernando wanted to hear. But I love the fact he is watching the race whilst driving. This man has so much mental capacity. 41 years old. At Strange08, Fernando Alonso watching Stroll on the big screen. That's so good and so true. What? Fernando Alonso, him coming back into the sport. He's just brilliant entertainment. He's the gift that keeps on giving. Oh, there's another meme from @Strange08, but I'm going to include it because I laughed out loud. George Russell be like... This was a strange team radio. He got quite excited to see one of the Red Bulls, and then it was Logan Sargent getting lapped in his home race. At LFC DRGX. Now, this is where we get into McLaren fan territory. How are we feeling once again? I don't really have many words to offer you as McLaren fans because what is going on is what I'm going to say. Knocked out in Q1. I know Lando got hit by De Vries at the start. I mean, what is De Vries doing? Again, another terrible weekend. Still no pace. No pace at all. McLaren, their facilities are unbelievable. They're McLaren. This is getting to like Williams territory where they were championship winning and then became sort of a backmarker team. I'm not saying McLaren are backmarkers, but they were pretty much last. So how do we fix this? You've got Lando Norris, who is an amazing driver. Oscar Piastri has huge amounts of potential, and they can't lug that car anywhere near the points, at least in this race. I don't know what to suggest. It's a disaster. Right, it's Tommy's Tasty Tweet time, and we've got him on the line, the cooler Tom Bellingham, looking very complexious, if that's a word. Who have you got today?
We have the Eric 1997, and I promised that it wouldn't be another Fernando Alonso one, and I lied. But, but this is genuinely, I think, the best tweet we have ever received on P1. It is so good.
Or just ever.
Yeah, or just ever. it took someone special to break the curse.
It's the best meme ever. The one thing I
guess
will say, though.
Technically, there's not enough doors. No, it's superb. Even using your face from the Charles Leclerc shocked as you're walking away, that is
It's the best meme ever. The shocked one, but then also the way Chad Alonso comes out the door is just the best thing I've ever seen. Like that is unbelievable. Eric, you are a hero. Well done for winning Tommy's tasty tweet. You also win life, okay? So just so you know, all right? Thank you, Tommy. What would you rate Miami out of 10? Go.
6.5.
Okay. The rest, 6.5. Okay, you've changed your tune. The rest will be in the podcast. Bye, Tommy.
Bye.
Right, that is it. Thank you so much for watching the funniest tweets to the 2023 Miami Grand Prix. It was strange. The whole experience was something we all had to soak in. I know a lot of you were like, this is cringe. Oh my God, why do they have to Americanize it so much? Blah, can't wait to finish Miami. I actually, the whole experience, the things that they do additionally, I quite like it in some ways because it's weird and it's different. And we know it's only going to happen a few times a year until F1 sign 10 American races in a few years' time. But I don't mind it. It's just weird, whatever. You kind of moan about it, but then you move on, and then we're back to more traditional races. Let me know what you thought of the Grand Prix, and also use hashtag P1 in future if you want to be featured next time. Lots of love. Thank you so much also for the support on the watch-alongs have been incredible once again, even though you keep tuning in when Leclerc has problems. I still appreciate the support, even if you come in for a 30-second window to laugh at me. See you very soon. Bye!